Hello everybody and welcome back to the pYanodons playthrough. It's your ghostified gamer, and I'm surrounded by machines as usual. Welcome back. Oh boy. Okay, so the path to PyScience 2 has begun. It is official. Episode 101. We are in the 3 digits, folks. Did you ever think we'd get this far? I don't know. All I know is that we've probably got another 150 episodes at the rate we're going, because there's so much to do. There's so much to unlock. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we'll go over this stuff in a second. This nightmare. I've done a lot off screen. Mainly just ripping up PyScience 1. It saddens me that, I mean, you know, we did this so long ago together. And I'm like, man, I like ripping stuff up on screen. But like I said, the format is, well, this is the last rip. At least, well, there's one more thing we're going to be doing later on. But, I mean, I would have liked to have done this on screen, but, whatever. So as you can see, I got PyScience 1 and PyScience 2. Or no, I'm sorry, Logistics Science Pack stuff here. That's just a temporary holding spot till we get them to where their home is going to be, which is going to be over here. In fact, I could move the PyScience 1 over, down here. I'm going to do this for PyScience 1 in Logistics Science Pack. And yeah, so I'm going to extend this rail down. I'm going to copy pasta this build here, over here, and over here. And the approach we're going to take towards the science packs is going to be a little different. We're not going to try and do everything encapsulated. It's impossible to do that now because of the complexity and all the parts that we're going to have. Oh, and so anyway, yeah, it's all gone. The starter base is no more. The last of it was that PyScience 1. And so if you think about it, the stopper was the main purpose. That was why this thing was so enormous. We're going to be completely redoing the stopper build in the form of, you know, the new materials, the new fluids that we're going to have and all that. So it didn't make sense to keep it here. And it was so antiquated and there was so much crap going on. It's just better off getting rid of it. The Logistics Science Pack, all gone. Now, let's go back in time. You know, and that's a Wayne's World reference, by the way. Good movie. And the technologies that we had for loading and unloading and doing certain things, and I was learning LTN and stuff, it was a mess, okay? It worked, and it was a fun exercise, and I really had fun doing it. But we have to start breaking things apart. It got us to this point. Now we have to start considering outposting everything because we have the power to do so now. And by looking at Logistics Science Pack and PyScience 1 and 2, we're looking at a lot of similarities, a lot of commonalities, I should say. And we'll get into that in a second. So the only thing I have over here now is our little cotton gut build. I just kept it over here. This is something that I did a while ago. I was thinking about redoing the cotton guts, but you know, it worked, and I was like, all right, we'll just leave it. And then I knew it was going to come out anyway. The other thing that's going to probably be redone is the battery build. And the battery build will, before I attack this, I'm going to see about the lead oxide and see if we need that and other things, because I might outpost that over where the other stuff is, the other smelters. And ammonia, the cyanic acid, what is this stuff? Cyanic acid, we might, you know, do that as a separate build. The other thing is Zognabacteria. I'm going to be outposting that as well, because it's just a lot of stuff. Oh, ash is getting in here. Isn't that funny? 160 ash. I got to put filter inserters on here because, wait a minute now. How is ash getting in there? Oh, I must have pulled the train in there and pulled it out of there. Or I updated this because I did rip stuff out of here. I might have had an LTN train coming in here and it was dumping ash in there. Well, it'll come out later. So Zognabacteria is something that I'm thinking about outposting as well. And we've got the ability to make the urea, that's outposted. We can punch that down all day and get more urea. And that is not a big deal. Oh, I shortened this. Finally, I got over here and remembered to do this. I reclaimed a lot of moss level 2s out of this. I basically halved it. I already did it. I went into the Logistic Science Pack tab in Hellmod, and we needed 7, rounded up. And I was like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and, kick this down. So I shortened it and repositioned everything, and it's all good now. Technically, we don't need this moss build here. We don't need the seaweed build either. This is a potential rebuild later on, and getting more battery trains, maybe doing LTN for that. Okay, now, when I ripped up PyScience 1, I did a sodium alginate build here. I tossed the limestone down here. It works. It's fine. We got the stone. We got the seaweed now on the network. It was just a matter of bringing that 2 trains in here and doing the limestone, and we're done. It was kind of a tight spot. I had to. I could reposition this and make it a little better, but the reason I wanted to have this on the network is because we have the DNA lab that's going to need it. The bio lab, where we're spinning up those, MK2 things. I thought I was going to need moss, but when I ripped up a bunch of stuff, now I have a lot of MK2 moss lying around, so it's all good now. Okay, what else did I do here? I picked off, oh no, that's not it. Here, I needed planters boxes, so I went ahead and did a splitter here, and I have an LTN. I basically reestablished the planters boxes here, because when we ripped out automation science, the planters boxes went with it. And now I have a planters box area to pull from. And yeah, again, the sodium alginate is done. And what else? Oh, we're going to be using this design here for our LTN and TSM. If I do a TSM side here, what I'm thinking of doing is it's going to be a 1 to 2 train input. TSM can only call 1 train at a time unless you set up the 2 arithmetic combinators to call more than 1 train. So this design still holds. What I'm going to do is pull this out of here. This will be an LTN side, and then the TSM side, I'm going to leave it this as a template. But if we're calling multiple trains, it's only going to be 1 at a time. So we'll just have 1 little stacker here to pull the train in and unload, because we're not going to have to hold a massive amount of trains. On the LTN side, we can call more than 1 train by having that counter up to 3, as many as 3 trains, 4 trains. This stacker is it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 train stacker, 1 in, 4 out. So we can have that many trains sitting in here. And so this would be an LTN side, and this could be a TSM side. Now, I want to see if I can try to get, well, I can do more than 1 TSM stop. And that would mean this would go to that, this would go to that. We'd have a 1 lane would have to be dedicated to a stop. So this wouldn't terminate into this one. It would go across and down. And we'd have an output lane still like this. It would change. So we'd have some bottlenecks potentially there, but we're at low throughput. This isn't going to be a mining thing or anything like that for plate. So this is useful here. But what I'm going to do is change it up to be TSM LTN. I had some bugs over here I had to work out with the petri dishes and the incubated. I had to put in a 1-lane balancer, because the inserter behavior is these will pull from the interior, and then these export to the exterior. So what happened is this backed up, as you can see, but it'll clear out now, because it's now going to balance it out, which is what I wanted. And I also went over here to prevent the gravel from doing the same thing. I put a mini loader here to side load. And that will hopefully keep the gravel from backing up. As you can see, the gravel is also kind of building up a little bit there. Now, I did the same thing over here for the incubated ones. And what transpired, the reason for that particular update was I didn't have any petri dishes here. And I was like, oh, I got a problem. Let me go fix that. You'll be happy to know. Oh, I have a note here to put to bring a train in, LTN train to pick up carbon dioxide, because I don't want to leave any biomass on the table. I don't want to burn it off if I can use it for carbon dioxide. That'll help with our tree builds and all these other things that we're doing. And I fixed the belts up here. It was driving me nuts. It was annoying me. Now, once we start getting into the more of the pYscience 2 is going to start to use more animal parts. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to LTN this yard up here and remove it from the TSM control, because we're going to have to go to multiple places. And, you know, as you can see, these trains are freaking maxed out. Now, the meat is a different story. That is for our diggers, but the diggers, they don't need much meat. And I'd like to look, eventually I'd like to do the worker food, you know, so I don't know. We'll have to see. But as far as things go here, like the brains, all this other stuff, plus we're going to get some other animal parts out of this. And I'd like to LTN this part here. Even the blood would be good to LTN up. All right. Now, getting back to this. Oh, boy. Oh, let me explain this thing. I am opting to a bot build for this. And the reason for that is because not only is there so much stuff going on here, but the amount of items that you need per craft is so low that we can have slow bots. And the way I look at it is belts have their uses and bots have their uses. The bots are good. You just have to choose it's a tool, right? Bots are a tool to get items from point A to point B. The same thing as belts, transport belts. In this case, we have 15 items, including a fluid, which I'm not counting because we just piped that over. But we have 14 non-fluid items that we have to transfer into these boxes or to the machines. And we're only concerned with one. Now, the way I went and put this in Hell mod, I don't want ash out of this damn thing. I'm going to do ceramic on site because it's just easier. It's either bring ceramic in via train or have 4 machines and do it on site. And I'd rather bring the coke in and do the ceramic on site. The other thing that will potentially change later on is when we can cast tin and or copper cable, because we can cast it in casting machines, and that would eliminate 2 things here. It'll make this build a lot more manageable, you know. And if that were the case, then I would train in the ceramic, because that would make this a lot nicer. But anyway, everything is surrounding this one machine. The reason that I decided to go with the bot build is because of this reason right here. All I need is 10 of these items, solder, small parts, and the iron nextlet antimony special alloy. It's just 10 of each. Now, I can increase this based on the bot speed, though. But a belt is going to have a lot more material on it than a case right now at this point. So I prefer to have as few items in this as possible, as opposed to having a belt with all the items. So I'm going to do this as a bot build, and it'll be kind of fun to do. Now, the other project we're going to work on today is the fertilizer. We're going to get that spun up. We'll do speed up videos on this crap. Now, I have laboratory equipment set up, but there's something that I need to discuss about the optical set. Now, check this out. pYscience 2, baby. Flavonoids and Arcwood blood, or whatever this is. Arcwood honey. Look at all these items that we have to have for this. Now, we already went over this. As you can see, we have the mechanical parts. The mechanical parts, the reason we're outposting that is because we need it for the next science pack, for the chemical science pack. So it makes sense to have that on the network. And we're going to do LTN for a lot of this stuff here, because it's just a little bits and pieces of this and that. When it comes to moss, though, well, that's on LTN. pretty much LTN is going to be ruling the day for pretty much everything here on in, because like I said, TSM is more for ore and plate. I want it on demand and ready to go. Stone, ores, all that good stuff. When it comes to the smaller little onesie twosies, LTN is best for that, you know. And LTN is really good for fluids too. I really like LTN for fluids. Okay, so this was something I was going to work on today as well. We're going to do speed up videos on this. Now the equipment chassis is not too bad, or chassis, however you want to pronounce it. It's not too bad. We could rip that out really easy. No problems. It's this thing, the optical set, that's going to be a pain. We have the rubber and all that good stuff. Oh, speaking of rubber, that's what I was forgetting. The Vrauk build. I updated a little bit. Now, until we get the new rubber or latex build done, it's going to be latex to rubber using the organic solvent. But we need extra latex for the rubber build as well as the rubber stoppers. And, well, we need extra rubber because I'm going to do, I think, rubber to stoppers. But we need the latex for that. Now, I have to keep this up and running to build until we get it up and get that build up and running. So I cleaned it up a little bit, and I put a stone train here. I got rid of the wood burner. The level 2, was it the assembly 2 wood burner thing, and I put this one in here a lot easier. And then I brought moss and flowers in, I pulled the moss out and trained the moss in, and then I got the sap moved over here, and it was all nice and clean. Look how clean that is. And oh, the rubber stoppers came out, so I didn't need the coal anymore, and raw coal, so that came out, which is really nice. So this cleaned up really good, and we're going to need it for a little while longer. So that's the other update that I had there. So we got all this open space here. What I'm going to start doing is using this space for our biological stuff. And it's going to be kind of low throughput, you know, I think, but we'll have to see. I don't think it's going to be that much. Okay, now let's get into the Hell mod from Hell. The LSP. As you know, so we're going to do this build for the LSP, the Logistics Science Pack. We're going to pop it in where next to the military, and then we're going to do the PyScience 1 next to that. Well, we'll probably do PyScience 1, then the LSP, then we'll do PyScience 2. And the thing is, there are so many ingredients for this nightmare. There is so many that it makes sense to just train in the finished products to make this thing, the glassware and all this other stuff. So we're going to be knocking out each one of these items as we go. But we got to go down the rabbit hole. So we have the first item already. We just have to punch it down and do it. And this is a lot of stuff, but we have it all. Now, and now you know why I was out posting and ripping everything out of that belt base, because we need it for this stuff. Okay, now let's go to the now the glassware is going to be later. I was going to do it in this episode, but there's still a lot of stuff I have to figure out with this mess. And I think this is the Vrauk one, which we're going to delete that. We're no longer doing that one. So we're going hard with this one here. Okay, now. Glassware is after this is all said and done here. Okay, let's go to here. Now, let's go. Now, this one's done. All you gotta do is punch it down. The solidified Sakuros, there's something special about this one. We get from the Perogen solidified Sakuros, but it's not enough to maintain the science. We need 1.34. However, the Perogen is 1.12. That's why we need a solidified Sakuros build to manage both the LSP and this. Now, the LSP, we're just going to build it with the overbuild it just a tad so we can handle supplying it to our PyScience 2 as well. So we're going to merge those two, whatever the output is. It will have two areas that will collect. We'll have the priority going to the solidified Sakuros when the PyScience 2 creates it. And if we need extra, it's going to come from our other build, the one we have for the LSP mainly. So that's how that's going to work. Now, there is all this stuff. Like, I broke out the optical set here and the lab equipment and all that crap. Now, the reason I have to break these things out is because I have to get an idea of how many lab equipment things we're going to need for these 2 science packs. Once we get a build, and I'm going to overbuild it a little bit so that we have a little extra, you know. Now, the optical set is coming up as a, you know, we're going to outpost that because it's a pretty big build and there's a lot going on, as you can see here. We've got basically the boric acid and all this other mess. And then we're looking at a sand build, you know, another molten glass build. So this is, we're going to do a molten glass build. LTN is going to handle transporting the molten glass around, and I'm going to try to use this molten glass for little things that we're going to need in and around the base. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. But I broke this out because I need to know. When I broke it out, I started to see, oh, okay, yeah, this is just little numbers. There's no point in doing these little numbers within this build for the optical set when, you know, I might be able, I could probably use this molten glass elsewhere, and the optical set can be built up more for other uses too, because we're going to be using it for other things. Now, this sucker is a nightmare. We're going to need a new creature, a sea sponge, and we're going to need, oh, and then we get to use our blood. Check it out for this artificial blood. We're going to need the bio samples. We're going to need all kinds of stuff. Oh, and then we're going to get into the rare earth. We need acid gas. We're going to have to do this mixed ores thing. We're going to need to do naphtha. We're going to have to process crude oil. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on with this thing. A lot. Here's the sea sponge here. So we're going to spin that up. Now, the casein, we have this Corlex milk, and as I mentioned, when we get to this, we're going to spin up this alien. We're going to get it we're going to punch down the materials for it because it can't resolve the milk for some reason. I don't know why. If you click on this, it pops this recipe up, and it doesn't give you an option. So what's happening is it's coming from a render, and it's not giving me the option to pick the render for the milk, and I don't know why, but there's something bugged with it. I don't know, whatever. Now, here we have a poor alien sample that's needed not only for logistics science pack, but for our good alien sample, obviously for our, you know, PyScience 2 here, and biosamples, and DNA polymers, and primers, all this stuff. Oh, formaldehyde, we need that for the glassware because we're going to do the, you know, the rubber and all that stuff. Lab equipment. Here's a new creature to spin up. We need Vraux for the retrovirus. Look at this. For the DNA polymers, not only do we need a retrovirus, which requires Vraux cocoons, but we need Vraux cocoons for this as well. So that Vraux build that I have will get, most likely, I'm just going to repurpose that, and we're just going to pull the cocoons out, and we're not going to render there anymore. So we'll do that. And then, of course, the poor alien sample here. Then we have, so this is going to be outposted as well as the poor alien sample. And then we're looking at casein milk again, or Corlex milk again. It's crazy. This is the same thing as the rubber stopper, if you noticed. We need liquid nitrogen, which isn't a problem, a little bit of gasoline and all that good stuff. So we'll be good there. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to outpost all these little things because we're going to need them for our alien spin-ups. Another alien. Yes, we need fish, a fish build. So we're going to do the fish food. Another thing we got to do. Oh dear, we have to do this, the stone wool. We're going to get wastewater out of this. We can create something out of that. We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with it as it comes. So we're going to do fish food. We need this zipper. And the zipper is created. We need the zipper egg for our science pack. And now we have Arcwood honey, another alien we have to spin up. So what I'm going to be doing is focusing on things that we need to automate do the bot-based DNA lab, so we can, or bio lab and DNA lab. So I'm probably going to combine those two, the DNA and the spin up for the creatures, and the, you know, like the MK2, 3, and all that, so on and so forth. So we're going to do that as well as together, because it's all a lot of common stuff, you know, and it'll be all botted up. Now, this one here, I'm trying to figure out how to make the wax. What I have to do is I think I have to go in here and figure it out. WAX. And see, look, it's an Arcwood empty honeycomb. Now, I don't know how to make the Arcwood honeycomb. So let's see, we got ARQ. ARQ. Now, here it is. Notice it's saying wax. How do you make the wax? How do you make this thing? I don't know where it's coming from. There's a... Here it is. I think that's it. See how it's saying wax? And when you look at wax, it points you to this. It's going back and forth. Empty comb is an ingredient of Vrauk. They eat Vrauks. See that? Comb. So I had to figure this out. Oh, here. Okay, so the Arcwood honey, what we probably have to do is we have to make the Arcwood honey produces an Arcwood empty honeycomb, and we probably have to use that instead of putting it back into the system. And here's the heated one. So wax and hot air makes an empty in a casting unit. The wax is what I'm having an issue with. And it's using an Arcwood empty honeycomb to make the wax. So what the hell? You know? Honeycomb. ARQ. I wonder if I just go honeycomb. Honey. It seems like that you have to take this and melt it down to get the wax. And then you're taking the honey and doing something else with it, because you can produce these Arcwood honeycombs from the Arcwoods. This one is an Arcwood and a Ulrich, and that makes the honeycomb right there. Here's the wax one, wax, and now this is Oleochemicals, the Bodo spores in Ralasia, and that makes the. So maybe this is it. It's in an apiary hydrocarbon plant. So I think this is what we need to make to make them. And I think also too, it's a seeding. We seed it with that particular item. So I had to look at that because it was driving me nuts. Okay, now, so I just put the Arcwood honey here, and we're gonna need to spin up some creatures for that, obviously. And then we got the flavonoids, which is something like a mushroom or something. If you look at this, it's a spore. And we need logs and wood and fertilizer. Haha, fertilizer build. So we're going to be working on that. Here it is right here. We don't need much, so we're just going to build it to, you know, whatever. And we need a spore collector here. So we collect the spores and do all this stuff when we get these. And this, oh, another thing too. This is in a culture. So we'll have this to do. Now we have to spin this creature up. Okay, all that to be... That's a ton of stuff. So we're going to start on this and get this out of the way. Then we're going to do the fertilizer. And then I'm going to do a molten glass build. So let's get cracking. Oh my god, this is a mess. Well, so I did a little analysis after I started setting this up. I'm looking and it's like, oh, what's LTN and what's not, and everything is TSM. I'm like, okay, it's no problem, you know. So I have 3 stops, and you know, I kind of front loaded this one a little higher with TSM or trains, and it's kind of cool because I can get dual unloading. There's going to be potentially 2 trains here. And so I could get 2 trains unloading at the same time. It's still 1 stop. Well, then this was going to be an LTN stop. Well, I realized, oh, it's all, you know, TSM. All right, this is going to be a TSM stop as well. No problem. Boop. So now I have the potential for 3 trains. I left this in because I want this as a template for LTN going forward. So what I'm going to do is I want to keep, I got to blueprint this thing. So I have these, you know, available, and I want to modify them based on, you know, what I'm doing. Because I might want LTN on this side or, you know, TSM. You know, it depends on what's LTN, what's not. I don't mind doing the dual stops, but it's, what I'm getting annoyed with is the shifting, and then I have to use the filter mini loaders, and that's going to be a problem later because the filter mini loaders only can do 5 slots. So if I have something like this where it's 6, you know, I've already blown a yellow mini loader out the water, and I think the red and the blue are also 5. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while. Now, so I screwed up. And I had the stuff from here that I wanted from here, I set up on a combinator for here for some reason, or here. And I forgot, oh, this is 1 case for 2 stops. I like that it fills up, or that I could get this to span this train loader. This is really cool. So this is going to be very helpful going forward. And then this one here is not, you know, I can't load from here to here. It would be nice. I could spread this out another 2 and it would work, but I'd have to change this back or something, but it works. I'm not gonna worry about trying to get this train to load into this as well, because it would just complicate things and there's really no need for it. But having 2 trains unloading to 1 case is awesome, and I could unload on this side here for this stop here. You know, it doesn't matter unless I need more filtering. Now, later on, we get the ability to make logistic versions of these warehouses, and then I won't need to do a pick-off. So this will be the provider, and that'll make it really nice for bot-based builds. And this is, like I said, we're going to be seeing probably a lot of this stuff where it's a million items for 1. And I'm going to go towards this route just to save on belt mess, you know, because this is a mess. Even with bot builds, is a mess. One thing I noticed is that I should have moved, this the gearbox, it needs 2 shafts, whereas the control or the mechanical parts only needs 1. So I should have shared these 2 with this, and maybe the way to fix that would be to move this one here, right here, and then the transmission would be going this way, inserting this way, and then these 2 would be going to the gearbox, and then 1 to the control thing. So it's just a matter of moving stuff around. I'm not going to worry about it because it's such a slow build. And then I forgot Coke. I forgot to put the Coke on the case here. I was like, no, I forgot the Coke. So let's go ahead and, you know, it was an easy fix. I'm glad I saw it. This whole base will probably be redone with the new stuff that we get with PyScience 2, as I'm foreseeing that, because there is just, everything changes. And I don't know what I'm looking at in the future, and that's what I like. I like playing this blind. It's fun. All right, where are we at, Mr. Train here? There you go. I can't wait to get faster trains too, because boy, this thing this is not nowhere near what I've done in the past on mega basing and other things like my angels. I didn't stream that. I refer to that, or I didn't record it. I do refer to my angels playthrough a lot. It was we're getting close to it right now. pYanodons is pretty crazy. What is this set to here? 6. Oh, yeah. That seems a little low. That's gonna cause a lot of bot travel. These things take forever to charge. It's just maddening. Alright, there's our brakes. And once the brakes go, then they go in here. And I think we need one of those. Yep. Oh, I forgot to set this thing. I set it to 10 because it's so slow, and I don't really need a lot in this case. What I need is the yard to have the material, not the case here. All right, come on, brake. There we go. That's so slow. There we go. Oh, look, it already made one. Oh, that's right. It's 3. I didn't even see that it made 3. Now look at this whole thing is alive now. Holy cow. The brakes. Once it all buffers up, then it'll run better, you know, because right now the brake is the bottleneck here, because it just started up. There we go. This one is what? 12 seconds for 3. Well, that's why when when this was put in hell mod, it's okay because it's 3 per craft, and so the brake doesn't have to run because we're getting so many here. Oh yeah, we're already at 10. Already at 10. But once the brakes buffer up in here, it'll run a little bit better, I think. Well, there we go. Oh, I could do something like this. I don't really like these 90-degree turns like this. Yep, I like to pull them out and flatten them. And you have to do like a little piece like that. And it actually makes it look really nice. It's just a matter of getting it. Now, if you're too close, it won't connect there. So you have to lay a reference track down like that, and then connect to it like so. It looks okay, I guess. And then we can pop on there, pull that out, and then we want to make sure that we have enough room for an LTN stop and 3 train. We want to be sure that we have 3 train cars, and then we can always have 2 trains called to this and then have 1 wait, but whoops, I'm not too worried about it. Chain that, and we want to do a bunch of signals here. Signal, signal, signal. And then we want to signal out. Can never have too many signals. The issue is the issue isn't having too many signals. The issue is the updates per second, because these signals are always looking for trains, or trains are moving around and stuff. And that is the issue. Well, I might as well do this. 1, 2. Let's get a little loader thingy here. And, oh, we need a requester. Haha. If I can find it. There's so much crap in my inventory right now. And let's go ahead and pull that over. And thank you. We'll get an LTN thingamabobber here. There. Oh, and then we got to do a provider. We go none to 1. And we can do 1 train limit for now. The provide threshold, I'm going to make 50. Or maybe 25. Yeah, that'll work. And then that should do. Yep. And then that's all. That's all we have to do. That's why I like LTN. And what we're going to do is mechanical parts. And let's do 50 here. And then we'll wire that up. There is... Oh, I hope I can do this. I think I can. Yeah. Read contents. Request from buffers. Yeah, I think this will be fine. I have not used one of these with LTN yet. So there we go. 15. How are we doing here? Oh, now yeah, see the gearbox is what's holding it up. And shafts. Because these are so slow. But I'm not too worried about that right now. What I'll do is maybe I'll move that stuff around off screen. Okay, let's get to work on the other project. I'm going to pull these up here so I don't have that extra crap in my inventory. We're good to go. Pretty happy with this setup here. This thing is going to run trains like crazy. I don't see any trains coming, though. Yeah, it'd be nice. Now, another thing would be nice is getting the, those logistic cases that will help out in streamlining this, faster bots, and faster machines, too. Okay, let's get to work on, I think I'm going to do the fertilizer next, and then we'll just knock that out. Hey, look at that, we got batteries coming. We'll knock that out real quick. Okay, cool. Oh, the other problem is that it's reading this case, not these cases. And that's okay, because it'll work itself out, I have to read something. I have to sense this for TSM, including the fish oil. But I could wire these up to here as well. I don't want to have any conflicts, so I'm going to keep it simple. Okay, let's get to work on that little fertilizer build. This is a kind of a simple build. Oh, here it is. And I built it all. I just followed the trains, and I wanted to just kind of capture it working on site. This is our first fertilizer build here. This thing is hungry for all these waste products. Well, ash and biomass being a waste product. Holy cats. Oh, I have to cap this off. I think I'll do it there. Oh, I hope this works. I'm going to have to take these counters off. The seaweed is, like I said, the seaweed is kind of like an ore. How I'm looking at it is an ore at this point. What the heck is this thing doing? I'm trying something different. I'm trying some arithmetics here. This thing's going nuts. Oh, here we go. We got a urea train going. 200. Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, it's just calculating. Okay. This is using, obviously, these 4 things here. The fertilizer. We need the fertilizer for those little worm things, and also spinning up creatures and things going forward. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to fake out the LTN combinator here. This is something if you have like a different requirements for stack threshold, or well, like for example, for this example here, I want to call the train when we're at 100, but this one here is 300. Well, we want 500 here, but when it drops to 300, we're calling a train. Now, you can see that the output signal is 285, but for some darn reason, well, you see how it's calling 205 each time? That's because of the counter that I have set up, So instead of it coming and picking up a full train, and this is the problem with LTN, and I think the way to deal with this is some arithmetic combinators to change the signal from here, and that way, because the threshold, you can't have different thresholds for different signals here. So right now what'll happen is when we drop to 100, it calls a urea train. When we drop to 300, we call an algae train. But I'm dividing the algae in the case by 2. For some reason, though, because I'm trying to make it where it's, you know, less, so I get more. But it's not. I don't know why it's not working. 688. So the input signal is 688. So we have 688 in the case, but we're outputting 334, and that is in line here. You know, so 200 minus 500 is 300, and our output is 334. So we're at that threshold. You know, and I don't want a lot of urea here. Here's the... Oh, wow, that was fast. See? That was fast. Oh, I got a ton of... I got to grab that stuff that I have already made. Now, if you look at this recipe, it's 20, 20, 2, and 10, respectively, ash, biomass, urea, and seaweed. So that's a pretty beefy amount of material that's getting sucked into this thing, this fertilizer. The more we use the fertilizer, the less ash we have on hand, which is what we want. We want to use that ash. We don't want to waste it. Like right now, I'm wasting it, which is fine. We don't have a use for it. But now, you know, every time we get a recipe that uses ash, it's less ash sitting there. But we also need that flue gas for our you know, stuff. But when the factory starts running, we're going to produce a lot of ash from our power right now. So that's a good thing. Eventually, we're going to have to use the kikhelks to make ash. And hopefully, by then, we'll have faster ash production from that process. And the seaweed, you know, that's, what, 5 a second. 5 seaweed a second is pretty nasty. But we're not going to be using much of this, you know, going forward. Okay. Let's get away from that noise. So, yeah, I'm trying this arithmetic thing to change the behavior or to allow for different thresholds, for one threshold, but different items that I want in the case for travel time. But as you can see, that counter is really messing with this whole thing, so it's kind of annoying me. I'll think of some stuff, though. Anyway, this episode's going pretty long. That's why I just wanted to hook up as much as possible here. I've already kind of gone over this thing anyway. But where am I? I am right next to the fish thing. Oh, this thing, yeah. So this thing's been going... Oh, finally, it's 15 grand. The problem with this is I'm only using this 15,000 here. And this train is 25, so I'm gonna have to, you know, do something about this thing. Off screen, I finally got this lamp thing in here. I cleaned it up. Looks better now, right? It's driving me nuts, that little U-shaped thing. And I might have to bring a saline train, water train in here just to get rid of this mess here. The salt, because it really isn't a good use of salt. Well, the salt train comes here and it's just sitting here now as opposed to the fluid itself. I don't know, 6 1/2 dozen the other. So I cleaned that up a little bit, and I got a... Oh, it's calling a lamp train, is it right now? Might as well use the lamp trains that we do have. And oh, I gotta get rid of that. I moved this head to move this over. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah, this is not the best thing. Oh, we do have MK2 fish. Now that leads me to the next thing. The plan for... Okay, between episodes here, I'm going to work on a couple things off screen. What I'm going to do is stuff that we've done already, and I'm going to build them out here in this area next to the fertilizer. So the things I'm going to do are what we've already done. I don't want to waste episode time on stuff we've already done. For example, plasmids. We're not ready to do the lab. I'm not ready to do the laboratory equipment yet because we need the optical set, but I will set up a build for it and just not have the stuff in there. I'll do the Zogna bacteria off screen, And I'm not sure if there's anything else here. I'm just looking for things to give you an example. Oh, the bio sample I'll do off screen. And the reason I want to do this stuff off screen is I want to start working on the DNA and bio lab area for spinning up creatures and all that. And I'll do that off screen as well. And then I'll show you what I got. It's similar. It's going to be exactly like the Hub 3.0, except for bio stuff. And I want to be able to LTN this crap in. What else? Some other things I'll work on off screen here. Yeah, the lab equipment is a really big one. That one, no. Oh, the good alien or poor alien sample. We haven't done primers or DNA polymers. We haven't done that yet. We've done this, the retrovirus. I'll set that up off screen as well. And then anything else? There's the retrovirus and, ooh, filtration media. There's a lot of stuff. Like the fish food I want to do together. You know, it'd be kind of fun. And that one I have to still figure out. Oh, and this one here. We can actually work on this now. Because we have... Oh, no, I need this right here. Well, oh, no, we can. Okay, here's what's great about this. We might be able to do this on everything on site, except we have the fertilizer now. We'll train that in via LTN. I'll do logs on LTN as well. We have biomass. Water obviously is easy. We have the Fertilizer. And we'll have this. We have all the materials for all this. So we can actually get the flavonoids done as well. But I'm going to wait on that because this isn't help. I have to spin the creature up. And I think I want to get the DNA bio lab squared away first. So then we can basically spin up creatures at will. You know, and it's really tricky doing it without automation, you know, bots basically. So I'll work on that stuff. Anything that we have done, I will do off screen and I'll show you what I got. And then I might even do the molten glass off screen because that's something we've done. It's just a different, we're just picking up molten glass versus glass or whatever, glassware, things like that. So I'll probably do that off screen as well. I'm trying to knock out as much as I can so we can get to the good stuff, you know. I got to focus the episodes on new technologies at this point and building stuff that you see how we're doing the outposting. You see how we're bringing materials in, LTN or TSM, blasey. So, well, I'll be discriminate on what I'm doing on episode from here on in. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed all the spin-ups of the new things, at least somewhat new. This is new. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.